Hello and welcome. Just taking a moment to appreciate all of you and appreciate this way of starting the week that I so enjoy. And your participation makes that all possible. So thanks for engaging so that we can affirm our connection and how valuable connection is for all of us, filling our reservoirs, especially that image is especially important to me right now, living here in the drought center of the Western Hemisphere, not the world now, because we've got drought in lots of different places. I really think our own connection with refilling, letting things flow has impact on our environment as well. And so I'd like us all to be a source of nourishment for ourselves, but also for the planet. And attention, the wonderful world of attention, I keep seeing more and more quotes about people are finally getting on to how valuable our attention is as a resource and as a powerful tool. And today I wanted to read you a quote from my friend Janine Roth, who I was just sharing with Michelle earlier, is whom I consider to be the world's expert on any issues with eating, emotional eating. She's been in the field for decades and has a lovely consciousness about the power of attention. And so I wanted to just read this to you. Actually, let these words sink in and just notice how you experience that in your body. I kept placing my attention on sound, sensation, smell, sight. And every single time I'd land here, it was as if I'd been given a ticket to a dazzling, bright, unlimited space of indescribable peace. So the connection between giving our attention and letting it land and letting us take in just the creation, the creation that is going on all the time, and that our attention helps to keep the creative flow going. And I also, one of my friends is writing a book where she uses an infinity sign, which we use in our book, Conscious Loving Ever After, to describe what becomes of the flow of attention. Because usually we start with like kadunk, kadunk. In fact, just sample, how are you shifting your attention this morning? So I imagine that part of you has been listening to me. So give attention to your ears. Let your loop of awareness go to your ears and just feeling into what is the experience of receiving sound. Yes, and I notice Monica playing with your ears. You can definitely, we hardly ever touch our ears, except maybe to clean your ears, or to check, see if you have hair in your ears, but to actually be giving loving attention to your ears. So yeah, letting yourself just see, how can I appreciate my ears with my attention? And I notice also then I'm touching. So then that opens up another sense. So let your attention go out into the world through your ears. What are you hearing out there in the world? And letting that land. So I'm noticing there's a different sound of construction going on across the street. And formerly, I would be irritated by the sound. Like, oh, why do they have to make that noise in the middle of the day? It's disturbing me. But when I let my attention land on it as, oh, something is being created, it actually changes the way I'm hearing and the flow of attention. And then letting your attention come back to, we almost always let our attention come and go through our eyes. So letting your attention come and go through what you're touching right now. Like, what is your body touching? Like you can feel if you're sitting, how are you sitting? How can you feel your body touching what you're sitting on? Like I feel just a little bit more weight on my left hip than I do on my right. And my little equalizer is going, oh, I should shift my weight now. So I have weight equally on both. Some rule I have about, okay, we must distribute our weight equally or we're going to fall over. So there's what you're touching. There's also what's touching you. So how is the air touching you? How can you feel? How is your clothing touching you? So you're touching and you're being touched. And then let your attention go out to notice how is, how are the leaves touching each other? How are birds coming close to and touching each other? So when you're letting your attention go out, letting it go out through the sense of what's touching and not touching. So also the swaying when there's wind, how is the wind touching the leaves? And how can I tune into that through my sense of touch rather than through my visual sense? And I want to invite you to let your attention be both alternating between very focused and being very just out breath, just spread out. So letting your attention go out. I really like the whole idea of circling, creating an infinity sign so that you, even if you do land on something, you can come around that and then back to you. And when it comes back to you, notice where you want to take it around you. So we could even start with kind of taking it around our head and neck area. So I was just having this image. We used to play when we played with hula hoops. One of the, we could take it around our center, but the really adventurous people would loop it around their necks and they'd have this big zoom thing going. So what would it be like to let that infinity sign come around your neck, the back of your neck, nourishing you, and then coming out into the world, noticing what would I like to circle with my attention? Just feeling that sense of connection with the world, and then back to me. And I'm also noticing as I'm doing that I'm slowing down. I wonder if you can sense what's the pace that allows you to feel, now the attention is circling me. Now the attention is circling out here. And as I'm saying that, the construction across the street has picked up. And so I'm tuning into the sense of rhythm. What's the rhythm of the way that you're using your attention? Because as I was tuning in, they were going bang, 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 and now they're going boing, boing. So it has, more of a sense of, for me, playfulness. And I notice when I'm open to giving and receiving attention, curiosity becomes my river, the flow of attention, rather than what's wrong and judgment. What are they doing wrong? So how can you right now generate some curiosity in you? My favorite way is through and feel the pitch that your curiosity wants to be taking. Mine is a little bit more, feels a little higher today. It's usually and today it's And when you can feel that in you, let that be the river of attention that flows out, and let it flow out a little further, even to where you can't see. letting that, I'm connected with you. I can feel you. I'm here. I'm glad you're here. And then back to you and feel, where does the circle want to move around and through you? Like you can let it come through and around your heart area and the back of your heart. And then letting it go out into the world. Like opening your heart to what's going on in your neighborhood and what might want loving attention, and just letting yourself be a spritzer, a little river of appreciative, curious attention, flowing out and around, and then back and around you. And when I do that, I can feel both the space inside, but I can also feel the flow of attention that makes me want to move. Continuing to slow down, continuing to feel how your body wants to play with letting your attention flow. And flowing out to even bigger, letting the loop be even bigger. So filling any place that your friends are living that's not nearby, that you want to send a big river of love their direction and get them in. There are these things that you can do at water parks. It's sometimes they call it the lazy river, where you are in an inner tube and then you just go around all of these different, and you have little adventures. And so imagine that you're riding this wonderful river of attention, and it's just taking you around like, oh, yes, this can be included. Oh, this is beautiful. And oh, there's some feeling here that wants to be included. And then back to you, and notice if there's any part of your body that hasn't really been included in the river. Like I'm going to send mine all the way down to my feet now, so that I'm going to be in this little river puddle where I'm paddling my feet and letting myself enjoy the refreshment, because that's also where we can draw our love scoops from, is from the river of attention. So I've got my feet in the river and they're feeling really very pleasant. And then I can just scoop from that river as it's going by and apply it to any place. It just wants a little extra attention. And as I'm doing that and touching, I can also feel the reverberation, which is another way of sensing and landing. I can feel the reverberation of my voice. So let yourself enjoy that also, any place in you that you want to scoop love, and then enjoy the reverberation. I'm enjoying having one hand on my back and one hand on my chest, and I can feel the reverberation all the way through. There's so many ways that we can use our attention, and all of them are designed to let you expand the flow of love, giving that flow of love to yourself and moving from fear orientation and getting your fuel from fear to getting your fuel from presence. So see if you would be willing this week to increase the flow of love and attention that you can generate. First for you, make sure you start with you. All of you who are here, I'm sure that you're more experienced with giving than receiving. So give to you first. First for me, first for me. And then, from the overflow of the river, which is infinite, notice if there's any other person that you want to send that to for whatever reason. A lot of people are experiencing challenges right now, and the flow of our attention is not limited by time and space. So I invite you this week to let yourself richly give yourself attention, and then also let that flow out and around to the people that you know and the people that you don't know. So I'm inclined to do some of Here I Am, I'm So Glad with you as you're ending today. So letting yourself go, oh, here I am. And then other people, you can go, oh, I'm so glad. So let's just play that for a moment. Oops, I'm not going to leave the meeting. I'm going to ask you to unmute yourselves and just go, here I am.
Here I
Here I
am.
am.
I'm so glad.
I'm so glad.
Here you are. I'm so
You
glad.
are.
glad.
Yeah.
I'm so glad.
Here I am.
I'm so glad.
That's actually
Here
the
I
best thing you
am.
can do.
Here I am.
I'm so glad.
I'm so glad.
So thank you so much. And until next time,
Here I am.
I'm so glad.